Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, what's up? I'm Grace and welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video. I am so excited because today I'm going to be reviewing / doing a little tutorial on the new, or I guess it's not really new, it's a couple months old, on the Huda Beauty new Nude palette. I am so excited to play with this palette. You have no idea. I've been waiting to get this palette in my hands and play with it for you guys and review it and swatch it and all that good stuff, and tell you what I think about it. So before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my videos. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the video. So before we get into the actual makeup application, I want to give you all the details on the palette. So this palette retails for $65, which is what her other two palettes I believe retailed for as well. But that's expensive. It is super pricey for an eyeshadow palette. Most eyeshadow palettes retail between $30 and $45. So this is quite a bit higher and more expensive. So we will have to see if it is actually worth the price, if the eyeshadows are any different, things like that. But yeah, it retails for $65. You get 10 mattes, 4 multi-reflective shadows, 2 pressed glitters, 1 pressed pearl, and 1 concealer base, which I really think that's also another cool concept for an eyeshadow palette, is that there is a concealer base in here. And I really like that this palette, based off first impressions again, is different than what I've seen. The multi-reflective shadows look so cool in the pan. They look almost like marble, which is really, really cool, and I'm really excited to play with those. So you get 18 shadows total. One of them is a concealer base, so 17 actual eyeshadows in this palette, which isn't bad at all. This is what the palette looks like. All of your shadows, it looks so pretty and just super girly and fun, which I love. Also comes with a mirror, which is really nice, and just the overall packaging I really, really love. It feels really sturdy and really nice, but it doesn't feel heavy, so this would be a good palette to travel with. And another thing I wanted to mention, that the names are on the palette itself under each eyeshadow, so you know which eyeshadow you're using. You can follow along with tutorials way easier, which makes my life easier and your guys' lives way easier when you're following along with a tutorial. And I think that is pretty much all I have to say about the packaging and the information. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into playing with the palette. Okay, so I actually already primed my eyelids with my Huda Beauty Overachiever concealer because I forgot that there was a concealer base in this palette. So I can't really use the concealer base. I will say the consistency of the base is pretty thin. Not sure exactly how it would layer on your eyes. It also kind of feels like one that would crease maybe, I'm not sure. Since I already primed my eyes, I'm just going to go ahead and jump on into the eyeshadow. I'm going to take this color Bear. It's just a really nice cream matte shadow, and we're going to pack this on the lid over our concealer to set the lids. Okay, so I'm not really sure where I want to go with this palette. I feel like there are a couple of different routes that you could take, which is really nice. You can do a super natural glam look, or you could do like really heavy because they do have the pressed glitters and things like that in this palette. I am really intrigued by these multi-reflective shadows, especially this one right here. I don't know if it's coming off on camera, but it has almost like a green reflective to it. It's like a green and bronze and pink. I don't know if you can see like how beautiful that is when you swatch it. So I definitely think I want to try and use that all over the lid. I think I'm going to take the shade Teddy right here. It does have like a slight brown undertone to it, which I feel like would make for a nice transition shade. So we're just going to take I'm using my Morphe M505 brush, and I'm just going to start working this into my crease. First thought, this shadow does come off a little bit more pink on the skin than it looks in the pan, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's still a really pretty neutral shade. It does just pick up a little bit more pink on the skin. It's pretty easy to blend. They're super pigmented. You don't really need a whole lot of product on your brush. And there is a slight bit of kickback, but that does not really bother me. It never has. You know, I say this in pretty much every eyeshadow tutorial that I do that has kickback. It does not bother me at all, as long as it does not affect the quality of the eyeshadow. Okay, and then I'm just going to go in really quickly with this big, fat, fluffy brush and kind of go over the top of the eyeshadow just to make sure it's super blended. So I think what I'm gonna do next is take this brush right here. It's still fluffy, but it's a little bit smaller, so I feel like this will be good to use right in my crease. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the shade Raw, which is this shade right here, and I'm going to focus this a little bit more in the crease and kind of on the outer corner of my lid. One thing that this palette doesn't really have that I wish it had was a like really deep cool tone brown to add that depth and dimension. The only one that I'm really seeing is this one right here, which we are going to test out really quickly, just to see if it'll add any depth to my look. The shade Tease. Okay, so that definitely did help add a little bit of dimension to the look. It definitely deepened it up a lot. What I think I'm going to do is go back in with this original really fat fluffy brush and go in between Bare and Play, which is like really light peachy color, and kind of blend this at the top. And then I'm going to take this tinier brush in, this is the Luxie 121 mini tapered brush, and I'm going to go back in with Tease, which is that deeper purpley brown shade, and kind of put this right in the socket to try and define that a little bit more. Now what I'm going to do is slightly cut the crease. To cut the crease, I'm going to be using my Huda Beauty High Coverage Concealer in the shade Cotton Candy. I have really been loving this concealer, and it's really nice to cut the crease with as well. So okay, so now for the fun part, the shimmer shades. So I'm going to try and use a brush. I might have to end up just using my finger. It might be more pigmented that way, but I want to try it with a brush first. So I'm taking my favorite flat shader brush from Bodyography, and I'm going to go into that shade Charmed, which has like a pinkish green reflective look to it. It looks really pretty, but it doesn't look quite as reflective as it does when I swatch it with my finger. So I'm just going to take a little bit on my pinky. Oh yeah. Okay, it definitely picks up a lot more metallic using your finger, so I would definitely recommend doing that. I'm going to go ahead and go back in with the brush and apply some to this lid and then use my finger over it just to make it a little bit more bright. So I think I want to go in with a little bit of, I don't know if I want to use Crave or Daydream, which are both the other reflective shadows. I feel like they would both be pretty. I kind of want to put one of them like more towards the inner corner, but on top of this one, just to brighten up the eyes a little bit. I think I'm going to go in with Daydream, which this is, wait. This is Crave and this is Daydream, and they're both so pretty. But I like this one because it has a little bit more pink to it. So I think I'm going to take a little bit of that. I'm going to go back in with Tease and a little bit of Raw as well, just to kind of deepen up this outer V again, because I feel like it got kind of lost with the shimmer shade. And I'm just going to pack it on the outer V. I think I want to try and do just like a small winged liner and then do the rest of my face makeup, and I will be right back. Okay, so my makeup is done except for my lower lash line. I just have to say that I love this eye look even more now that all of my makeup is done. I am obsessed with this look and will probably recreate this for Valentine's Day. I feel like this palette is perfect for that. Moving on really quickly because my camera battery is about to die. I am just going to take, for the lower lash line, I'm going to take Teddy first, which is this original shade that we used in our crease, and a tiny brush, and I'm just going to buff this on the lower lash line. I think I'm gonna take the shade Spanked, which as I was like reading through some of these shades, that's a little inappropriate. But I'm gonna take Spanked, which is this really pretty like fuchsia magenta color, and I'm going to do this just on the outer corner of my lower lash line, just to add some color down there. And that's literally all we're gonna do for the lower lash line. I'm just gonna pop on some mascara on my lower lashes really quickly. Okay, so final thoughts. I really do love this palette. It is a little bit different than most palettes. It does have a lot of different textured shadows in it, which I think is really cool. I love that it's a cool toned palette versus all the warm tone palettes that brands have been putting out. It's different, it's unique in that sense. I have not played with the pressed glitters yet, so I will have to keep you updated on that. I think that they will work really well. All of her other eyeshadows are beautiful and blend really well together. The pressed glitters, you'll obviously have to use some type of glitter glue to have them stick, because I tried to like test swatch one just to kind of see what it would do without glitter glue, and it did not stick at all. So you're definitely going to have to use glitter glue with that. I also didn't really use the concealer, but I said how I felt about that already just from like swatching it. Not a huge fan of it, but I think it would work for its purpose, only for the eyes, and you might have to go over it a little bit with a normal concealer as well if you really need like full coverage on your lids. As far as the mattes go, I think that they're really easy to blend. They blend together very nicely, very seamlessly. As you can tell, there was no patchiness at all. The only issue I had was that some of the colors kind of disappeared in the other ones because they were very similar. They're all very cool toned eyeshadows, so you just have to be careful with that. But overall, I think that they're beautiful shadows. But yeah, overall, I would definitely recommend this palette. It is pretty pricey for an eyeshadow palette, but I think it's completely worth the splurge if you're looking for a unique eyeshadow palette to add to your collection. I really did enjoy using this palette, and I will definitely get a lot of use out of it. Also, like I said, I think this would be the perfect palette to use for Valentine's Day, or even like bridal makeup. I feel like this would be a really beautiful palette to use. Thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more eyeshadow palette tutorials, reviews, things like that. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my videos. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.